I am bringing you a anniversary layout. It was my 15th wedding anniversary yesterday, so I decided that I would scrap a photo that has just been hanging around that was printed ages ago, and I thought I'd just do something a little bit different. So, 12 by 12, plain, it's a slightly off-white. I got one packet that's slightly off-white, it's not white. Cardstock, just flat white cardstock. Now, I'm stenciling on the side of it. The paint I'm using is one I got from Spotlight, and it's called Americana Satin, and it's Red Barn. Now, this stencil that I'm using is actually a sticker, and I bought them. They're stick-on stencils that peel off, and I bought them about, in all fairness, probably 5 years ago. Where I got them from, no idea. I bought these stencils and they come in lengths. I think I got a meter of each one. So, and I have completely never ever used them. Never. So I thought, the roses, I'll use them in this. So, considering I had over 350 red roses at my wedding, to my amazing husband, who is fantastic. Now, I thought I edited that black bit out. I don't know what it is. It must be a glitch of some description. Now, what I'm doing here is, so I've gone over the whole thing. I'm just using makeup sponges. They're dirt cheap. Get them from Kmart. Super cheap. And then I'm just stenciling in this metallic silver that I'm using. It came in a Kmart 4-pack, 5-pack. I think it was a 4-pack. And it was in the scrapbooking, crafting section. Dirt cheap. But it's actually quite metallic, believe it or not. It actually has a good reflection to it. So it's thickening up. So I just played with it. And I figured, yeah, we'll see what happens. The reason I use silver instead of gold is because, well, you can tell by my wedding ring and my engagement ring, they're white gold, not yellow gold. So that's why I went with that. So enjoy while I peel this piece off. This actually peeled off really easily. I was a little dubious, a little curious as to if it would still peel off easily. And I was holding it down because I hadn't actually heat set anything, and I wasn't sure if that silver on top of the red, if it would set really well. So, and I didn't want to use heat on it because I thought it may affect the ability of me peeling the stencil off. But it worked a treat. Heat set it, all good. So this is slowed down so you can actually see how it turned out. I actually love it. I sound shocked, but I actually, when I bought these, I was going through a huge stencil phase, and I was doing a lot of mixed media, and this was right back. I had recently had a heart attack when I bought them, believe it or not, and I'm all good, don't stress, all good, happy as, no problems. But yeah, I went through a stencil phase, and boy, did I buy some stencils. I really need to use them more. Okay, what am I doing now? So, the cardstock that I'm using, the red colour that you can see is Cranberry from the paper pack from Creative Memories. And what else? I'm just using a couple of doilies. Where'd I get them from? $2 shop. I'm not gonna muck around and say that they cost me a fortune and they're some sort of amazing brand. They're not. They cost me next to nothing, which is exactly the price I like to pay for stuff. Although my husband would beg to differ because I do spend a lot on my crafting. Okay, the Happily Ever After. Now I've cut that out of my Cricut, my happy Cricut. I love my Jiminy. It's actually cut out twice. You can't see it very well there, but if you hop over to my Instagram, you can see some close-ups. So I've cut it out in the cream, and then I cut it out with the cranberry. And I got it from the Cricut store, and the Cricut online. I have a member. You know how you can get the membership for a year Cricut? Well, I have the membership at the moment. It's a long story, but I have the membership at the moment, and I just put in anniversary and that came up. So, and I love the look of it. Now, I did cut it in the cream as well, not so much because I wanted it to have that two-layered effect. It was more just on top of where the stencil is. So when you go and when you're looking at it in real life, you can actually see that it's separate. And yeah, I like that look. So that sort of shadow effect. Okay, now this was actually harder than it looks because I have 3 layers. I used my tracing paper instead of vellum. Why? Because it was on my desk. I would have gone and got my vellum, but it's alright. It worked. So put the doilies, then the cranberry, then the cream. It's not cream, it's off-white. It's the cardstock I used in the 12x12 is the one that I used to back my photo. And you can now see that, see, I did cut it out in cream. And it does have a shadow effect. It's really pretty, actually. Now, the reason this page is so super simple, because that's how I like my pages. I don't over embellish to the point of putting everything on a page. I like the story and the photo to be the emphasis on the page with some extra crafty bit on as well. So that's why I made the happily ever after, the roses down the side, the photo. That's what draws you in. It's not all about embellishments, and I wonder how many I could stick on here. That's just me. Look, you do you. You scrapbook however you want. I'm just glad people are still telling the stories of their lives. You know, whether it's your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's your schooling, whether it's your wedding anniversary, it doesn't matter. I think it's important that families have these scrapbooks for years to come. I know my children love looking through mine, and every time I create another page, they are in awe that, oh, I remember that, you know, oh, I remember doing that, or I remember that toy, or that present, or that adventure, or that holiday, or remember when we flooded in 2022 again, you know, or 2011. Ironically today, and I'm putting this in the video for my own memorabilia, today and yesterday are 2 days that I'm going to do a scrapbook page on them, because we had storms yesterday that, well, a couple of towns north of me absolutely got annihilated at like 2:30 in the morning. It just blows my mind. As a consequence, our state premier, has closed schools today. So our children are home, except for the children of essential workers, etc. But just because the weather is so volatile, it's insane at the moment. It really is. Not to mention, is it insane, but never have I ever, unless you're actually in the flood or a bushfire, I've never known a premier or a government body to close like Southeast Queensland. Like it just, I can't even get my brain around it. It is amazing. I kept my kids home purely because I didn't feel comfortable with a teacher with 25 children, and I know the teachers at our where I send my children, they are, to call them the bomb diggity, that isn't even close. Like, these teachers are amazing. And I know that they obviously would protect the children as much as they can, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. But if something went untoward during this weather event, specifically yesterday, I wanted my teachers to be able to, my children's teachers, I wanted them to be able to ensure their own safety, not necessarily have to try and calm down 25 children that are losing it because of something, like a tree come down or something like that. So I kept my kids home. That's purely so that the teachers could give the attention to the children that, of essential workers or whatever. So I kept my kids home and I had no fear doing that. I am a stay-at-home mum, so I work in the evenings, but I have the ability to do this, which makes it very, very different. But yeah, it's very tumultuous times at the moment here in Queensland. Okay, so these are back to the scrapbooking. Enough about the weather. So this is my little. This is where I keep all my enamel dots and little bits of bling. I make my own boxes, by the way. I am sick of looking for the perfect size plastic tub or the perfect storage solution. So guess what? I made my own. I've made my own. I continue to make my own. They're the perfect size for the storage compartments that I have in my craft room, and it's working really, really well. It's taking me time, but it works really, really well. So here, what am I doing? I'm just adding a little bit of bling. Why am I adding these blings? Because the little tiny red ones that you can't even really see, they're on my craft mat. They're actually the bling, the exact bling that I had on my wedding invitations that I made myself. So I just thought, you know what? And yeah, I still have some 15, 16 years later. And I figure what better place to use them than on an anniversary layout? Why not? So, yeah. And the clear ones, my veil had diamantes all around the bottom of it. And yeah, so, and my tiara had crystals all through it as well. So, yeah, it was nice to sort of look back and go, wow, how young we looked. How young we looked. Oh, and in my case, I'm thinking how thin I looked and how very little pain I was in. I mean, it was so good. It was so good compared to these days. Obviously 15 years later, lots of things have happened and lots of adventures have happened in life, and things have turned around and turned upside down and all sorts of things. So it's absolutely, it's absolutely amazing to think. I don't know, and I know people probably do this as well, but I tell you what, legitimately, if you're getting married anytime in the next sort of 2-3 years, don't blink. Because if you blink, bam, 15 years, gone. Like, it happens that quickly. I guess it happens that quickly if you're really happy. I'm blessed. My husband's amazing. I will stop gushing over him. But, that's my life. So here's some close-ups. So I will do the housekeeping now. Look at that. I think that looks so cool. You can see the white, the cream, the off-white, whatever you want to call it. So if you would subscribe for me, that would be absolutely amazing. If you want to not miss out on any future videos, and if you like it, leave me a comment. Still curious where people are from, if you want to leave that down below, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye.